So let's see if he can do exactly that. Playing his
Oh,
game
and Brawlhalla.
Great start here for that type of playstyle because Pavelski is already letting you know we're going to go ahead, we're going to find ourselves off stage often. But Macheeete actually going off with a great start, getting a lot of neutralites with the orb, and now has position here with the scythe.
And so this is like, I'm like, all right, who's going to win out here in the Battle of the Wills? Because right now, we're on Brawlhalla. I want to give it in favor of Pavelski, trying to take stocks out at yellow with ground pounds off the right side of the stage. But with Macheeete opening up with the neutral win, we saw him put Pavelski off the side of the stage, deny weapons, and just constantly chip away at Pavelski's health. And this is one of those two things I was saying, Ajax, is like, okay, depending on who gets that early momentum, we're going to be seeing one of those playstyles come through. And Macheeete so far is the one that's winning out.
Exactly. Macheeete having great stage control, constantly keeping Pavelski on his toes. Off stage, but Pavelski,
but Pavelski turned around.
Just missed. It looked like Pavelski had the read on the jump, but didn't believe hard enough in it in that moment. And now we got to see Pavelski get through with the dodge. He's going to keep chasing him down stage. That's the best option.
Yeah.
Get back on stage. Don't keep staying down there.
Those are the two types of gameplay, right? Pavelski in that moment switched the game into his favor. It's like all of that work that Macheeete put in there to get Pavelski all the way to the red could go away in a heartbeat if Pavelski's able to get you off stage once.
Yeah, don't lose your stock at orange here. It's not worth it.
But like Pavelski still has had control over the match so far. Dodges the side light, goes for a gravity cancel pivot down light, but that side light sider will take Pavelski down. But the amount of damage Pavelski had there before he went down, Macheeete was at white, and now it's red to red.
Exactly, and I'm glad you pointed it out because that stock was so dominant in the favor of Macheeete at the start, and Pavelski, in the midst of that, was able to get back to red. So even though he lost it first to the side light side air, he has it back now to where he's able to scoop him up right there and get back in only into yellow on a second stock.
Ooh, Pavelski, a little frustrated with both the side lights that he went for there. Use the active input on side light on scythe, you get the strong hit on the kick. But if you don't, you get a light hit that sends them upwards. We saw Pavelski trying to go for neutral sigs and side airs right after that, but he has to go for the down sig. And now Macheeete and Pavelski, well, we're playing Pavelski's game right now. They were fighting in the air, scythe v scythe, down air, Nair comes through. Macheeete, does he grab him back?
I like the fact that Pavelski, he went for recovery last time on that play, so he backed off, waited for Macheeete first. He scooped him up, but it's not going to be enough. Pavelski goes for weapon toss down, just misses on the GCD line. That could have set it up. It got in the stock.
Neutral sig misses. Sidelight sider coming through with Macheeete. Now Pavelski went for the weapon throw, pick up down light, and that could cost him as Macheete's now got on the side of the stage. Goes for the edge guard with the side air, jumps over the weapon throw, down air on the stage, could do it, but no. Macheeete, I love that consistency from Macheeete. The edge guard, too risky. You know what I say, got a better chance of working out? Making sure Pavelski never picks up a weapon again.
You know what I'm loving so far? Macheeete, every time a big play does happen to happen from Pavelski, he answers right back with an incredible play himself.
Yes.
These two are throwing hands. They are not playing passive, and Macheeete is answering back in a great way that keeps Pavelski not comfortable with starting to get some momentum.
Oh, man, I love watching these two play. Macheeete trying to get a super strong lead here, in which I would even say is not the game until that stock is gone.
You can lose your stock you can lose your stock at white when it comes to Pavelski.
It sounds obvious, but like we have seen twice now on both stocks where Macheeete was up, white damage to red damage, and he nearly went down first. He's just gotten the upper hand here on both these edge guards. This is a great opportunity for Macheeete. Pavelski spending a majority of the time off stage just because of how great Macheete's controlled center.
Exactly. Macheeete knowing this, he not really a moment to commit, but the sidelight's going to get punished, trying to catch him after the dodge. A little bit far away though, gets hit by the side air, and now Macheeete has stage control once again. He's been dominant on the stage control, but he misses out on the down air. Neutralite sends it back off. Pavelski's taking a lot of damage. He only has so many more mistakes left.
Yeah, and that's turns out he had zero.
In fact, there was only one final mistake.
Yeah, Silent Sider takes him off the right, and Macheete's playstyle really winning out there. We saw it from the beginning at game one, and then we saw Pavelski kind of fight back. But overall, every time Macheeete had him off the side of the stage, that patience and I want to say like self-control to not overextend and go for something insane and give Pavelski the reverse nair that he's always looking for. Going back to the stage, throwing your weapon off, forcing them to use their dodge, and then denying them of any weapon refreshes on the stage.
And if just looking back at the damage there too, even though it is 414 to 634, that gap didn't really happen to the last stock because they were really close in damage leading up to that point. But Macheeete was able to get back control of the pace of the game at the end. And that's going to be something Pavelski's going to have to answer back, not only with the dominance, but whenever he does have great control, he gets incredible reward on hit, but he hasn't been able to get as many neutral wins so far against Macheeete.
Yeah. If you are getting a like 80 damage per engagement, but you're getting 1 engagement per stock, that is not usually a recipe for winning. Pavelski goes to the weapon throw forward here. Will he pick up a new weapon? He does. Silent recovery hits. Could take Macheeete off the top. So far, Pavelski has really upped his game on those neutral wins that we were talking about, right? He's been getting a lot more, and that he's still getting that 80-plus damage per engagement, essentially, to where he's getting Macheeete so deep into the red. Now he just has to close off the stock, but Macheeete with the orb chases him off stage.
Yeah, Pavelski was able to get a lot of hits early on with Sidelight, but he hasn't been able to find them so far here when it's come to trying to find the KO, and he goes for the recovery, but Macheeete smartly getting away. That time, though, catches him with D-Light, gonna get the recovery, close it out off the top. That could have been real bad if he lost that first stock after having a really good lead. Now he has to play some defense.
Yeah, this is the scary part for Macheete's playstyle when that behind against Pavelski, is that Pavelski's playstyle, in my opinion, has explosive comeback potential, whereas Macheete's is much more of that slow burn, always racking up the damage until you're at red and hit him with the knockout move, and then you're done. And we're seeing right there, Macheeete finishes off what he started from the last stock, but still behind.
Which is so unique about what we're watching right now is you are absolutely right in the way Macheeete likes to play it out, except this, I think almost against Pavelski as a check, they've both been holding forward quite a bit. This is a much more aggressive like Macheeete that I'm used to seeing, but I think it's as an answer to how ridiculous Pavelski can be.
It's how these two interact with each other. They're constantly fighting to not fall for the other's playstyle because I think they really like how the other plays, but they're like, I gotta do it my way. No, I gotta do it your way. It's like, oh, it's awesome. And
tempo
right now,
control is like one thing, but how do you condition someone who has no fear?
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're seeing out of these two players right now.
That is a really nice way to put it. And so far, Pavelski getting the upper hand in game 2. We saw in game 1, Macheeete, awesome job with the stage control. This time around, Pavelski getting in more of those wins on the gauntlets, taking the stocks off, and now a full stock ahead. And he's doing a better job against Macheete's tendencies to dodge right away out of the side lights and neutral lights that Pavelski's been hitting with Scythe and going for more mix-ups. But I say that, and that ground pound, that just ends Pavelski's stock. One hit.
He couldn't have asked for better. I was actually just about to ask you what was Macheeete doing in that first game that he needs to replicate to get himself back in the game here, and then that happened. So now, as an answer back, okay, never mind. I was going to say, what does Macheeete need to do to keep that lead going? And so far, he's doing it just by outspacing him with orb.
Yeah, I'm loving this. And this is the second time today, at least in our block, that we've really seen players use the orb favorably against gauntlets. I'm starting to see a little bit of a trend here in Europe, which I'm really enjoying to see. Now Macheeete over onto the Scythe, using this as his primary weapon for knocking out Pavelski in this last stock. Pavelski, 3 hits.
Misses out on the recovery at the end there, but gets himself back into an even game here. Macheeete looking for a punish, but he's going to get sent back off himself. Pavelski going deep for the play and just misses.
Macheeete goes to the sideline, and Pavelski, after 4, 5, I don't know how many of those missed, he gets the side light, doesn't do the active input of the strong hit, so he gets the light hit, kicks him up, does the pivot neutral sig. He loves slide charge pivoting the neutral sig after those side lights. And to see it connect was so cool. Macheeete getting caught off guard there. In fact, I wonder if it was actually his dodge being gone. I don't think it was. Let's see here.
Take a close look here. He's going to come back to it.
Caught him on the dodge away, and he delayed it just enough with the slide charge, the keyword charge, right, to catch him at the end of that dodge, and it gets the knockout off the top, and now it's 1-1.
That was a chef's kiss moment. Like, he's been setting up for that as the game has gone on. He's been kind of letting him get away with dodges in those same positions, capitalizing on it at the end to solidify that game and get himself back to 1-1. Oh, Pavelski going for Pavelski play, but this can lead to Pavelski's stock, but he gets hit by 2 dares, but Macheeete backing off, respectfully understanding, I got my 2 hits, let me get stage control.
Yeah, Pavelski temporarily forgetting that these are not guitars. These are gauntlets, because that is something guitar players love to do off of a landing, is to do the chase dodge, chain dodge, where they go straight down and try to get the side air. That time, Pavelski nearly losing it, and Macheeete, in those moments where the craziness off stage doesn't work out for Pavelski, that's where I feel like Macheeete becomes the most relaxed and he gets the most damage, keeping Pavelski off the side of the stage where he wants to be so badly and tacking on more and more of that damage to get a lead. Pavelski now fighting back, gets hit with a side light and the side sig off the platform, just barely doesn't knock Macheeete off the top.
What a choice, too, because just prior to that, he missed 2 D-lights by misspacing it by this much. So I think that Macheeete was kind of putting a spot in his head. It was like, well, I've outspaced those D-lights twice, and then side sig came in and caught him at the end.
That is interesting, yeah, because we saw that in game 1 off the right side of the stage, and then in game 2, both downlights just missing. But you're right, side sig will, if you are trying to be pixel perfect and how you space against that, side sig will catch you. So Macheete's got to worry about that now too. Pavelski goes for the neutral light, doesn't get the nair afterwards, and Macheeete gets a little bit of extra damage on as that down light comes through. Side light, side air. All right, that's a great start coming up from Macheeete. And a strong hit side light's not going to be enough, but the weapon throw will catch Macheeete being a little too too easygoing on his recovery.
Yeah,
there.
exactly. Kind of relaxed at that spot. But, I mean, he's had good reason to relax so far, because if there's one thing Macheeete has been doing so well, is his damage consistency. He barely drops anything. Every time he gets an opening with Orb, he maximizes the damage like we're seeing right now, keeping it going. He's been forcing the jump resources, and basically all the defensive options that Pavelski has, especially when the platform's not in the center, he's been exhausting them so well on Pavelski throughout the set.
Yeah, Mammoth Fortress really aligning well with Macheete's goal here, which is just doesn't really care how many hits it takes, right? Oh, nice job with the sidelight. Just gets the side right afterwards. Pavelski doesn't even dodge it. He doesn't care how many hits it takes, as long as he can have center stage, and Pavelski's spending the bulk of his time getting back onto it. And, well, compared to Brawlhalla, Mammoth Fortress is massive.
Yeah, and just the spacing has just been so good on Macheeete. It's actually getting to the point where Pavelski is kind of reaching a little bit, but he finally catches him, at least that one opener, and he gets him on the follow-up. That's not too much damage for Pavelski. The way that these two are playing, getting this third game here matters so much.
Yes. Neither player can really come to a decision of, like, okay, are you playing better today, or am I? It's like, no, momentum's being tossed both ways.
This is as close as possible right now.
And Pavelski right now trying to prove a point there with those sidelights, making the game equal. Neutral light connects, goes in for a neutral sig, or side sig rather, and he can't quite get it. Pavelski avoids that sidelight, goes for the dare, or the neutral air, into another neutral air by Macheeete. Oh man, those falling airs.
Oh
that
my
almost got him.
That's not going to get him off the top just yet, but that is the opener Macheeete needs. Does not get the follow-up hit. Trying to go for GCD light. He misses though.
Sig. I wonder if he slightly charged it. If he would have got a 3 burst, it would have worked. It doesn't matter though. Pavelski now on the left side of the stage. He goes for the sliding neutral light. Can't get it.
Yeah, Macheeete still has an opportunity here to get back in on arm recovery. He's not going to be enough.
Is that it? Recovery?
He does go for the recovery. He does pull the trigger. But Pavelski,
at the very end of the move.
Oh my God. The weapon toss down was so smart to try and prevent him from trying to go for the recovery punish. But the fact that Macheeete hadn't gone for that beforehand, holding on to it until the last second, his resources were gone, covering him for it, and Macheeete gets a very important game 3 here.
Yes, 429 damage on the orb, way more than he did with the scythe. And that recovery at the end, very end of the move, but also highlighting that was probably the 3rd time that Macheeete was literally like dancing in the air right beneath Pavelski without throwing out a single move. And when he finally does it, he hits it and he gets that stock, because that was so close between both of them. Ajax, it can't get close to them.
It really can't. It's been so good, but Pavelski started things off solidly there with a 4-piece getting that damage on, and let's just keep pushing him back. But Macheeete, as we've said multiple times throughout the set, he always answers right back, even with the damage deficit. Like right now, he answers right back immediately, even though Pavelski was winning a bunch.
Ooh, Pavelski, double side air off the right side of the stage. That could be Macheete's stock. Macheeete uses one recovery, assesses his options, and goes, I can't make it back, fast falls down to stop the weapon starve.
Yeah, get right back into the midst of things. Like, you know what? I got caught. You caught me slipping. That's fine. Let me go ahead and rebound. But Pavelski's actually dodging around a lot more of these neutral lights that have been hitting him consistently on his approach. That's a reversal side air, so he's going to be able to get stage.
Oh, went for the ground pound on the dodge in there instead of the orb down air, which I think was clever, just not really well spaced. Side air comes through here now. Macheeete gets the side light, kicks him away. Weapon throw forward, picks it up again. Is this the edge guard? Oh, the platform for Mammoth Fortress extending out for that dodge for Pavelski, giving him the recovery, and he's still holding on to this first stock.
Literal pixels getting back on, but that's going to finally take it right there. Macheeete not dropping the edge guard. That, no matter how many times. That was like 3 times Pavelski just snuck on.
Pavelski's stock ends, and Mammoth Fortress is like, okay. Let's off. And it's like, we don't need to be here anymore.
Bro, we tried, okay? All I'm saying is that Mammoth is definitely subscribed to Pavelski. That's all I'm saying.
There comes through, sidelight hits. Nice job. Kicks him up, gets the side air right afterwards. Oh, Macheeete, no.
Macheeete, come on, man, no. So Macheeete just giving a literal gift. It's spring, but it's looking like Christmas. And now Pavelski gets a huge lead.
Doesn't drift into the wall, and that is a huge lead indeed. Pavelski with the gauntlets, trying to catch Macheeete in the air with the neutral air. At this low amount of damage, it's very easy for Pavelski to get some combos right afterwards. Down air comes down, doesn't hit. He gets the pivot on the down air there was interesting. Barely hits Macheeete, not too much damage. Now Macheeete is actually coming back pretty strong despite losing that second stock in the way that he did. If he ends this here, I mean, it's potentially a 3-1 for Macheeete.
Yeah, I mean, Macheete's, you're right, he's barely been hit. Like, that stock might not have mattered at all, which is incredible because he had a huge deficit on him. Weapon Starve continues, keeps control. Unarmed can at least back him off. Pavelski gets, finally getting another neutral light to send him away, and then he immediately tosses the weapon.
Oh, does it make it back? Downers come through. Weapon throw down. Macheeete switches to the scythe. Nice dodge. Pavelski trying to avoid the side light side air that Macheeete has been going for here, but the side light alone is enough to take down that stock, and now it's 1-1. Macheeete takes this, and he knocks Pavelski out of the Spring Championship. Let's see what Pavelski can do. Opening up that neutral light. It's looking good so far, Ajax. Haymaker hits. Pavelski is trying to bring it to a Game 5. One solid signature on the scythe here could do it.
Look, Pavelski believers are still in chat waiting to see this happen. He went for the play that closed him out that game in the last time, but he goes deep off stage. Oh, but Macheeete doesn't touch the wall again, and we get to get a game number 5 out of that.
Scared straight out of the game there. That was the second time that we saw Macheeete just not able to touch the wall. He steered that orb recovery so hard to the right that it went like horizontally. Like that, I didn't even think about how possible that was. Yeah, Cider comes through here. We're going to see that edge guard. Macheeete. Yeah, he just literally never touched the wall. He thought it looked like he did, but he didn't.
That's 3 times today, man. You got the 2 of them in this one set. One time earlier today that helped get him down to this position. He's got to focus on making sure he gets back to the stage like that. Otherwise, you get put into a spot where you got to deal with Mordex on Demon Island for game number 5.
Oh, yeah. Pavelski really looking forward to this because off stage is where he shines. And Macheeete, as we saw off stage, is not quite so much where he shines. Right? That was a brutal game 4 coming out from what could have potentially been a 3-1. And now Pavelski has the damage lead going to game 5. But Macheeete with the double neutral light nair gets a ton of damage on Pavelski. Look at that, so good at reading those fastballs from Pavelski out of hit stun.
Yeah, Macheeete is answering once again, but this time off of all of these reads, like you said, the dodges, and Pavelski is kind of getting into his head a little bit.
Ooh, Pavelski dodges the side of the stage, but Macheeete gets that weapon as it spawns in. Recovery gets Macheeete with a low amount of jumps. He has to dodge back to the stage. He can't make it back. There's no stage on Demon Island to touch. Pavelski gets the ground pound, and Macheeete went a little too far out there with his jumps.
Yeah, like Macheeete going for the pressure, but it was a little bit overcommittal, and that time Pavelski closing it out himself. Pavelski, however, is definitely on borrowed time as we see that time come to a close, so Macheeete doesn't let that get too far away.
Now Macheeete with the weapon throw up, keeping Pavelski starved until the gauntlets come through. And outside versus gauntlets, Pavelski goes in for a side light, gets immediately stopped by a neutral light, and Macheeete takes him off into the sky. Pavelski tries to reverse it, and man, Macheeete, neutral light. He's hit so many of those against Pavelski.
Now, he's gotten a lot of the double neutral lights. He's getting a lot of he gets it again.
He's so good at it.
He's winning in center, but the biggest thing is every time he goes off stage, he's using a lot of resources.
He's really taking advantage of the fact that Pavelski wants to go back in.
Okay, at this point, I feel like Pavelski's just like, look, you got it.
Pavelski's going to... Okay, neutral light is not true.
No.
It's not a true combo. I don't care how Macheeete hit it 4 times in a row, but he's definitely just preying on the fact that Pavelski wants to get right back into the fray, and he's succeeding because of it.
Yeah, it's all, like, at this point, like, if somebody's going to keep... If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like, if somebody keeps doing it, take advantage of it every time. That's why he has this big lead right now, and he gets the read, gets him on the stock, looking like he could take this game, but Pavelski's answered back every time, Taza. I'm curious to see how he gets this answer to potentially push this to a last stock.
Yeah, weapon did not get started away by Macheeete that time, but that double neutral light hits him again, and Macheeete ladder combos him all the way to the top. So much damage coming through here. Pavelski just jump or dodge away with the neutral light hits. He almost got hit by it again, Macheeete just mispositioned, but he definitely dodged down. And Macheeete just stood still and double neutral light, and that would have been it.
Well, all that matters is even if it didn't work 9 times, the one that worked is the one that matters the most. Pavelski going for the weapon toss down. Macheeete just getting by. Sweat beats up. Doesn't matter though. He gets back on stage. He's going to go for the weapon and tries to get him on his way back in. And Macheeete touches the ground safely.
Weapon throw forward. Pavelski trying to get this down to a 1-stock scenario on both sides, but Macheeete just won't go down. Weapon throw forward, tries to get the pivot nair. Sidelight cider, no. That time it hits.
Dodge, he gets the stock.
Dodge not back in time. Pavelski gets it. There's a chance,
There's a chance indeed, Taza. Last stock apiece here. Game number 5. Trying to see who gets knocked out of Spring Championship 1-1. The nair comes through. Tries to get a follow-up on the cider, but Macheeete does not give it to him.
Oh, Macheeete goes in for the nair on the orb. A clash. Sidelight comes through for the nair. Dodged away. Cider has Pavelski off the side of the stage. Macheeete doesn't go for the orb down there, letting Pavelski back into the stage, waiting for the exclamation points to come out. Macheeete doesn't get the nair. Pavelski avoiding everything. Side air hits. He tries to go for a deep side air.
Recovering that off the top.
One more recovery, and that's it. Sidelight Nair does not hit. Weapon throw down. Pavelski gets the pummel.
Weapon toss over. He's pushing him back. Macheeete's starting to swing a bit, but the weapon toss comes out.
He dodges back. The Pavelski, that's crazy.
He just gave him stage. Now Macheeete has an opportunity here.
Macheete's not guarding the weapon, though. He's just trying to keep Pavelski at the left side of the stage. That's not his playstyle. Sidelight comes through. Macheeete gets the Nair, puts it back to the right side of the stage. Now he switches over to the orb. Doesn't get the neutral light and anything else. Pavelski gets a weapon spawn.
And he immediately tosses it away.
Gets the Cider, that's it. Macheeete wins Game 5 in that last stock scenario after what was the craziest scrap between these two players I've ever seen. Ajax, I told you I love seeing these two go head-to-head. This is wild.
I am always entertained by a Pavelski set, but I was absolutely entertained by this. This was placing for seventh place. And